On this episode of SHS Today, we look into a couple here at Saline High School who are expert welders. Then, Alec Clark goes into the hallway to discover what kinds of people you can meet. And later, we compare the movies of Batman and Superman in anticipation for next year's big crossover. All this and more on another episode of SHS Today.
SHS Today starts now.
Good afternoon, Saline. I'm Taylor Nunlee.
And I'm Joel Miller. Let's get started.
While we have many young couples here at Saline, only one can mold together so perfectly. Seniors Maggie McCarran and Paul McCullough not only make a great romantic pair, but it seems like they can make a pretty good welding team as well. Dan Brody goes out to learn more.
Hey Saline, with 1,800 plus students in our school, two have distinguished themselves as the welding power couple here at SHS. On January 30th, Paul McCullough and Maggie McCarran both took first place in the Washtenaw Community College welding competition.
We had the Washtenaw Invitational, and I placed first for advanced oxy welding in my first competition, so that was really cool. And Paul here got first in overall, in his first overall competition, which is really a great achievement.
The way I started welding, when I was 12 years old, my dad got me into it, we were just making small projects down in the barn, and occasionally he'd let me weld a few. They didn't look too good at the time, but I started to take classes here at Saline, and my welding has really improved, and I've loved it ever since.
I started sophomore year of high school from Paul, hearing him talk about how fun it was. Also, my brother Luke, he placed first at states, and my brother Matt placed first at regionals, so it's kind of a family thing. So.
The thing I like about it the most is you can never really get perfect at it. There's some things that you can just, you can have it down and there's never room for improvement. Welding is just, you're constantly trying to improve. It's 100 times more fun when she's by my side. Like, honestly, at a competition, sometimes I get really nervous and, shaky a little bit, but, if she comes by and she says, hey, you're gonna do great, it just boosts my confidence level like crazy, and I'll just end up, just doing really good at the competitions. I love welding with her, and I always have.
Thanks, Dan. Here's hoping they live long and happy lives together.
Open to all Saline area students from kindergarten to seniors. The second annual Downtown Saline Art Banner School Competition wants you to create a banner that exemplifies Saline's celebration of 150 years. All submissions are due by March 26th at 3 p.m. The winners will receive a certificate and have their art displayed in downtown Saline.
For those of you who travel the school hallways, that is everyone, you should know that some of the people there can be a little strange.
All right, I've noticed a few things when walking around the hallways around Saline High School. There are different kinds of people in all kinds of different moods, and you can usually tell just by watching what they do in the hallway. Here's 5 of those people. Number 1, the lost one. I've been this person before, many times. And let me just tell you, it is not easy when you're a freshman trying to keep up with traffic and figure out where you're supposed to go to get to your next class. As a word of advice, don't be afraid to ask for help. Otherwise, you'll just keep running into people and getting lost, and it's not fun for you. Number 2, the I don't even care anymore person. Let's be honest, you've been this person. This is the person who is having such a bad day that they've given up caring about anything. They're cranky, they're tired, and you don't want to be in their way. Number 3, groups of people who stand in long lines and walk slowly. You know when someone just stops right in front of you and decides to have a chat, and it causes a huge crash collision behind them and they're completely oblivious? I've never been that person. Combine this with the I don't even care anymore person and you get a happy mess. Number 4, The guy who tells crude jokes. Yes, we all know him. I have friends who are him. He's there, being rude, telling offensive jokes.
Did someone say offensive jokes?
On to number 5. And then there's Mr. Party. I don't know how this trend got started, but one day somebody just decided it was a good idea to bring a speaker to high school and play trap music. And now it just happens every so often whenever certain people feel like it. Please, sir, get some headphones. Most people don't want to hear your music. That being said, back to you guys.
Thanks, Alec.
Even though it won't be out for another year, people are already talking about Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and the fact that 2 of the greatest superheroes of all time are going to share the silver screen together.
But of course, this isn't the first time the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight were in a movie. Chris McGee takes us a look back to the 2 heroes' previous movie outings.
The latest trend in movies seems to be remakes, and people are always asking which is the better version, the old or the new. By showcasing some of the world's finest movies, we'll find out. During 1978, Hollywood created the first successful Superman movie, which won 1 Oscar and was nominated for 3 more, and critics gave this movie a 5 out of 5 stars, and 86% of audience liked it. While in 2013, Zack Snyder introduced his version of Superman in the Man of Steel movie, which was not nominated for an Oscar, but was given a 3 out of 5 stars, and 76% of audience liked it. Well, what do you think?
I really enjoyed the original trilogy. I thought they were very good movies. I prefer them over the new one, just because they're classics, in my opinion.
It depends on the movie, if the original or remake is better. Both have unique qualities to them, and depending on which one you would like more, I think it's more personal to the individual.
Superman's not the only one who gets a reboot. In 1989, Tim Burton gave us his version of The Dark Knight, which won 1 Oscar, and critics gave this movie a 4 out of 5 star, and 84% of audience liked it. Years later, in 2005, Christopher Nolan introduced his version of Caped Crusader in Batman Begins, which was only nominated for 1 Oscar, and critics gave this movie a 4 out of 5 star, and 94% of audience liked it. Well, what do you think?
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins I like better. Christopher Nolan.
And the winner is the Remakes, thanks to their advanced digital qualities and story plots. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Chris McGee, back to you in the studio.
I still think Man of Steel is the best Superman movie.
Unfortunately, as many of you know, Saline High School has recently lost one of our Hornets. Freshman Ben Heiber passed away Monday, March 9th after being diagnosed with cancer.
A Candlelight Vigil was held Thursday to tribute Ben's life. Colin Williams talks to some of Ben's classmates at the Vigil about what they remember about him.
And it's sad, and it's beautiful. So maybe what we're trying to say is that the world doesn't expect you to be fine with this.
Numerous amounts of people attended the Candlelit Vigil at the First United Methodist Church. I talked to a few of Ben's classmates to figure out what were some of the good things they remember him by.
He was always so sweet, and he could make the best of any situation, really. And he was a great leader, especially on the lacrosse team. He's just great.
He was always pretty happy, and he was always having a smile on his face. And I don't know if I saw a time where he was upset or sad about anything.
I noticed him first in orchestra because he was really good at the viola. He was so good he got first chair in the All-State Orchestra, and yeah, he was a good friend.
I got to grow up with Ben, so I got to kind of see him grow over the years, so it was really nice to see that. And he was just really caring and always looking out for others, and he was just funny. He made me laugh all the time, and I'm really grateful for that.
Farewell, Ben Heiber, you will be missed. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Tune in next week for a special people-oriented episode.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter at SHS Today. Until next time, I'm Joel Miller.
And I'm Taylor Nunlee.
Have a great weekend, Hornets.